world, Cozzy here with this week's roundup of Geek Movie news. Starting off this week with Two Guns. Now, it's been a while since I spoke about this adaptation of Boom Studios' comic book Two Guns, and I mentioned that Mark Wahlberg was signed on to star in this adaptation. Now, it looks like another big name is in negotiations to be added to the cast, and that big name is Denzel Washington, who, if he signs on, will appear alongside Wahlberg. They will be the two main stars in this movie. Now, as I discussed when I first talked about it, this is a cops and robbers, pulp, fiction. Yeah, it sounds perfect for Wahlberg and Washington, especially as Wahlberg basically plays a cop from sort of Chicago or somewhere, everything he's ever been in, and Washington's just a great actor, so this might be one to look out for. Yahoo UK and Spin-Off Online have been talking about some casting news for the 300 prequel Battle of Artemisia. Now, firstly, former Bond girl Ava Green is going to be playing Artemisia in this prequel, and secondly, Sullivan Stapleton will star as Themistocles. Now, two great additions to the cast, and hopefully these are sort of the final pieces of the puzzle. I'm a big fan of 300, the graphic novel, and the movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing this prequel in graphic form and on the big screen. CW Head of Development Tom Sherman came out this week to talk about the tone of the upcoming Green Arrow series that's going to be called Arrow. Now, he's compared Oliver Queen, the Emerald Archer, to Jason Bourne, going as far as saying that his skill set is that he's an archer, but he also has physical strength and prowess. He's clever and able to devise unique ways of taking down a bad guy that are fun to watch. So yeah, a comparison to Bourne, that means probably going to see a very different Green Arrow to the one that is presented in the comic books and also in Smallville. As long as he's still fun to watch and still a wisecracking badass, I'm going to be watching, guys. Some casting news for Peter Jackson's The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, as numerous sources online have reported that Billy Connolly has been cast as Dane Ironfoot, the Dwarf King of Erebor. Now, no news yet on how big a role the character will play in the actual movies. He does only have a fairly small role in the book itself, for those who haven't read it, but I'm excited. I love Connolly almost as much as I love Tolkien. According to Rob Liefeld, the adaptation of his superhero team comic book Youngblood is finally, after 3 years in the wilderness, underway. Now, he was speaking on Twitter this week about the fact that the company, big Indian conglomerate Reliance Big Entertainment, who bought the rights to the comic book way back in 2009, are finally ready to move forward with the adaptation for the big screen. Now, this is good news for all you Liefeld fans out there, all you fans of artists who draw lots and lots of pockets. That's just a bit of a rib. I am a fan of some of his work. But yeah, the 90s would have been nothing without Liefeld, and this was the first ever comic that was released by Image Comics. So yeah, it's a big deal. No news on directors or stars or screenwriters yet, but they're ready to move forward, so we should see a Youngblood movie in the future. Another comic book adaptation that looks like it's going in the opposite direction is The Boys. Columbia Pictures has abandoned its planned adaptation of the comic book according to Heat Vision. Now, the project's been put into turnaround. What that means, basically, for those who don't know, is that another studio could pick it up. They would have to pay rights for the development costs that have currently been put in by Columbia, and also some interest money. So basically, a little bit of their profits would go to Columbia Pictures, who have already started developing the project itself. Now, I really hope this happens, that another studio comes in and snaps this up. This is a fantastic comic book series for those of you who haven't read it. I've got the first 5 volumes of the graphic novel. Very, very interesting, very witty, very violent, but it's a much needed look at the superhero franchise, and its brand of sort of violent satire is perfect in the comic book, and I think would translate very, very well onto the big screen. So come on, Hollywood, make this happen. Another movie that looks like it's had the plug pulled on it this week is Paradise Lost. According to Deadline Legendary Pictures, could return to it at some point in the future, but they're waiting for technology to actually catch up to what they want to do. Currently very, very expensive to do the kind of special effects that they want in this movie. It makes sense, as the movie was going to have a lot of celestial battles in this giant good versus evil tale. So yeah, maybe we'll see this in the future, but not anytime soon. Deadline reported this week that Oscar winner Morgan Freeman will be joining the cast of the Universal Pictures project Oblivion. For those of you who don't know about this movie, it is based on the Radical Publishing's graphic novel of the same name. It's a sci-fi epic written by Tron Legacy director Joe Kosinski, and Kosinski is actually going to direct the movie of his own graphic novel, which makes sense. Now, if Freeman is going to join, he's going to join a fantastic cast so far that includes Tom Cruise, Andrea Riseborough and Olga Kurylenko. So this is looking like a good one to keep an eye on, guys. When more news comes out about it, I will obviously let you know. It was reported by Variety this week that Zach Penn has been put in charge of rewriting the screenplay for Karate Kid 2, the sequel to 2010's reboot of the Karate Kid franchise. Now, Sony Pictures were not happy with the original screenplay that was written by the Kung Fu Panda pair of Ethan Reif and Cyrus Voris, and therefore have brought in Penn to basically edit and rewrite it. Now, the only thing that Sony will confirm about this picture is that Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan will both be returning for their roles, and I'm sure that people out there who were fans of the first movie will be excited about that. I personally, instead, am going to go and watch the original two movies, but not Karate Kid 3, because it was awful. Finally this week, Roberto Rodriguez has stated he is working on a sequel to Machete, which is going to be called Machete Kills. In fact, although it's only in early stages of development, you can already see an official poster just there. That's right, they've already released a poster for this movie, and it's not even in production yet. Now, this movie is going to lead into a third movie, so it will be a trilogy, and from what he has said so far, Rodriguez has stated that Machete will be up against two Bond-style villains who are basically trying to take over the world, and this will lead into the third movie, which has already got a name. It's going to be called Machete Kills Again in Space. All sounds good to me. Big fan of the first movie. Very, very funny and violent movie. Great. If you haven't seen it already, do go and actually watch it. And hey, the third movie sounds brilliant because everything's better in space, right? Okay guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, down there's the like button, you click on that and you let me know that you liked it. If by any chance you missed last week's Geek Movie News, there's a link there, you click on it and you can watch that, catch up on what was going on in the world of geek movies. If you missed my and Dan Galvin's very touching tribute to Whitney Houston, there's a video there, you can click on that and go and watch that as well. Now, down there is the description box. You open that, there's a link to my Tumblr, to my Twitter, to my Facebook, to all those ways you can follow me and find out what's going on this channel and with my videos, and maybe a little bit about me also. You can also leave comments down there in the comment boxes. Let me know if there's something you disagree with, something I've missed, something you want me to obviously include next week. That's how you do it, guys. Keep in touch. This is your show. It's a show for you. Thanks for watching. There's some more videos coming up, different videos in the next couple of weeks. I'm working hard. You've all been pestering me for them, so they are coming. Thanks for your support out there. And until next time, au revoir.